Good morning and welcome to the workshop, where once again you can see the Nisse in their natural environment. This is Cathbad in his travel mug. In the travel mug he can transfer himself through time and space to explore and discover new concepts and worlds and even meet people. One day when Cathbad was returning to the workshop, he discovered that there was a visitor. The visitor talked to him of places that he'd been, places he'd travelled, and explained that he came from a situation where all of his people had been enslaved, exploited, made to carry batteries to power Christmas tree lights. Cathbad needed to find out more, so following the coordinates in his mind he travelled once more into another far-off destination, the travel cup spinning round and round, until he found himself at one of the places where the googly-eyed creatures were made to roll batteries endlessly, to pack them into power packs, to power twinkly lights for all the homes in an entire country. Each cell had to be repeatedly installed and then was lost. This disturbed Cathbad, so getting back on his travel mug, he travelled back to the workshop and called a conclave of the Cathbads, a gathering of workshop Nisse, where they could sit and they could discuss this problem. The Cathbads began to assemble. The chosen location today was the griddle of conversation, where they could think about things. Dun Cathbad and Iona Cathbad were already there with Viking Cathbad, and an unexpected guest for today's discussion was Liv. Shunning normal travel mugs, Liv travelled in a quaich. This is a fine vehicle, superbly crafted, and she settled luxuriously to talk. They discussed how these creatures could be set free from their bondage, what power sources could be utilised, what could they manage to harness to power the twinkly lights, because twinkly lights are, after all, fun. The conclave decided that Cathbad and Liv should go and explore and find a new power source, one that could be harnessed and set the googly-eyed people free. Unfortunately, Liv's quaich seemed to be undergoing some technical difficulties. The phase setting seemed to be a bit wrong, and although she could move and transport herself, attachment to any particular time seemed to be increasingly difficult. Despite Cathbad's intervention trying to fix what was wrong, she suddenly expanded to the size of the entire cosmos. Leaving that problem for another time, Cathbad decided to look around the nooks and crannies and found a hand-crank generator. A hand-crank generator that could be made into a game, so the humans would power the twinkly lights or rechargeable batteries and have fun doing it. Was this powering trees by fun? Well, twinkly lights by fun? Cathbad thought there was a chance it might catch on, so he returned to the conclave, where Liv had managed to fortunately re-embody herself, and they decided to invest in a hand crank. The googly-eyed creatures were over the moon. Instead of being tied to powering twinkly lights, they could use them as torches to explore the world, and they clambered all around the kitchen in joy. Even more than that, they decided to use the twinkly lights as a climbing rope, and having the hand crank at the bottom, which the humans could use to power their exploration, they climbed Christmas trees, and exploring the wonderful festival of Christmas trees at St. John's in Dumfries, they were able to experience a wonderful world of light and sit back and relax.